What's up everyone, Adam from Cape Crawlers, and today we're taking a look at the Radiolink RC8X transmitter and receiver combo. Got a different video for you guys today. We're going to look at the Radiolink RC8X transmitter and receiver combo that I just got recently. Now this thing is very impressive. This is a high-end radio, tons and tons and tons of features, and I gotta say, full disclosure, when I opened this thing up and started looking at this thing, I felt like a 6-year-old kid in the cockpit of an airplane. This knob and that switch, what does this button do? What are these channels for? There is so much functionality here, and I've had this for about a week or so, and I still barely even scratched the surface of what this thing is capable of. So I'm going to do a dive into this thing. I'm going to do my best to give you guys a comprehensive review of this thing to the best of my ability while maintaining my childlike enthusiasm. I'm also going to try to bring this down to what I believe is my core audience, which is more of the rock crawler community. So I'm going to show you some of the features that I've discovered that I think is beneficial to you guys as crawlers, but just know that there is so much functionality built into this thing. You could use it for planes, race cars, boats. You know, it's endless what this thing can do, and it's so powerful. So I'm going to do my best to do this thing justice. Let's open it up. I'm going to unbox it, show you guys the packaging that it came in, and then we'll jump into some of the key features. So let's check it out. So let's open this thing up. I got the kit from Amazon that comes in this nice carrying case. It's going to come with a bunch of different accessories that you'll see in a minute. Let's open this thing up. So the case itself is very nice. We got our quick start guide right off the bat. It does come with a quick start guide. The manual itself is approaching 100 pages, but this quick start guide is good to just kind of give us a jumping off point. It does have a shoulder strap here for the bag in this pocket. Flip this around so you guys see. It has this really nice velvety type packaging. This box here in the front. So we get some accessories that come with it right out of the gate. So in here we have a lanyard. We've got an EXT cable connect. Over here we've got a Type-C cable. Here, so you have the option of using regular batteries. This does take a lot of batteries. It takes 8 AAA batteries in this tray here. But what you don't see here is that it also comes with a LiPo battery, which I'll show you in a minute, which is awesome. Screen protector, some tools, and an extra trigger, which is very cool. So let's get this thing out. Here's the transmitter itself. So that's the transmitter. In this little rectangular pocket, there would be 2 receivers. So it does come with the 8-channel receiver and the 4-channel micro receiver. Those come with this kit as well. I've installed those in some builds so I can show you some demonstrations, but just know that it does come with that. Open this thing up. So let's talk about some of the external features on this before we turn it on. First thing, it uses very premium materials. It's got this very nice steering wheel here. It feels great in the hand. It's got nice premium foam around it. The transmitter is heavy. It's 432 grams, and it feels every bit of it. But it's got a good weight distribution. Doesn't feel overly heavy in the hand. Stands up really nice on its own. Even with the LiPo battery in it, which is kind of flopping around in here, offsets the weight distribution a little bit, but doesn't impact it in the hand or from a resting standpoint. Love the LiPo battery, compatible 2 to 4S. On the side here, you've got multiple ports to put in your headphones. You can put in your first-person viewing setup. You've got a USB port here if you needed to charge this from an external source. If you had an external battery that you wanted to plug into, you could do that here. The steering wheel setup, this whole stalk here, this is reversible, so you can pop this off and put it on the other side. And that's part of the reason why you see these channels buttons here are identical on either side. They have the same functionality. It's because when you switch this around, the channels that you're used to are still there. It has this huge 4.3-inch color display on it, touchscreen as well. We'll get into the screen a little bit more once we get rolling. It has an internal antenna, so no flip-up antenna or anything, but you do still get a 600-meter range on this thing, so very impressive. Has internal storage. It comes with a 32 gig card already in it. That's expandable up to 64 gig. This thing can store 200 models on it, and it's also backwards compatible to previous Radiolink receivers. So if you had the previous iteration of this transmitter, you wouldn't have to change out all your receivers. You can just sync it up with this, which is pretty cool. With the 8-channel receiver, you've got tons of buttons and functionality on here. These are all kind of pre-programmed shortcuts, which I'll show you when we get into turning it on and some of the functions. But you have so many buttons to customize and to use. And you've got these dials on here that you can use and assign to different channels. There's even a button down here. The ones on the handle, like I showed you prior. Very impressive. It has vibration features built in. These are LED lights that light up. It also has a speaker, so it will talk to you, and all of that's configurable as well. So the kit that I have gotten here, this bundle, was about $320, I believe. Some of the major competitors for this transmitter are the Futaba setups, and probably most comparable is the FlySky Noble. FlySky being the most comparable for price at right around $300. Futaba setups are going to be much more money for similar features. So I do think there's a lot of value despite the pretty high price tag on this. It's just so incredibly capable. So with that, why don't we turn this thing on? I'm going to run through some of the features and some of the screen details, and I'll show you some of the benefits that I've discovered from a crawler perspective. So let's jump in and check it out. So let's get into this thing. So it's a long press to turn it on.
Welcome to Radiolink.
The language is customizable. It's in English right now, but you can scroll through a number of different languages. See, it's got these LED lights along the side. Very cool. Your home screen here is very impressive. So you've got a number of shortcuts and basic information already on here. So we have telemetry information on this little screen. You have a timer, so if you want to do a lap timer or anything like that, that's built in here. Your servo view here, it runs through, you've got all 8 channels here displayed, and you can see it's got real-time information on there. Same with the throttle. And all these other channels too, if you had those hooked up, you could see what all was happening there. These buttons along the side here, so when you hit these, they're pre-programmed to certain channels, and you can go in and you can change any of them that you want. But you know, for throttle trim, you can trim your throttle on the fly with this DT2 button. Very easy. Steering trim, same thing right there, DT1. So when we get into our menu, you can hit the power button once, brings you into your system menu. Now this thing can go on forever. There is so much. You have so many options for mixing and customization. It's just incredible. But let's just hit some highlights here. Again, language. You can change the color. There's this preset themes here you can scroll through. You can also customize it. I've not gone in here before, but I imagine you can change your color to what you want. So you've got backlight, sound, battery, vibration setting. Let's get into some of this here. Channel reverse, very easy. So you can just go in one tap, change all your channels. Endpoint adjustment. So if you have, for us, where I have the dig or the 2-speed transmission, you can go in, you can adjust your endpoints and customize these so that your extra servos are functioning properly. Very, very easy. Racing menu, so you can get, you look at your steering curve. It has real-time information on your steering curve here. Same thing, brake curve. Throttle delay, you can set your throttle delay. So mine's pretty much instantaneous, but if you wanted to customize this to slow it down, so if you go full throttle, there would be a delay, and you can adjust all that and change all the degrees that you want that. Now for us crawlers, one of the things I did do is I put this in the UTB-18 Capra for 4-wheel steering. So if we get into the 4-wheel steer mixing, you can add or subtract these modes. And how you do this, you click into the type, and this is where you can select. So it's got the 4 modes. You have your front, your 2 phases, and in your rear only. So I like to have all 4 options available. If you didn't want to have all of them, you could knock some of them out or leave it the way it is. And then I'll show you how you toggle this, how I set this up myself. Tools, there's a screenshot setting, so you can take screenshots here. Screenshots, because what you can also do is you can split the home screen here. You can have real-time first-person viewing. It actually puts a video screen up, full color display underneath your servo view here, which is very cool. Also on the side here, you've got some shortcuts here. Like if I wanted to jump in, just do my mix setting, you've got these icons on the left that will take you to different sections of this very long menu screen here. Model select, so if you want to jump through your models, So just mighty impressive. So I'm going to fire up the Capra so you can see how the four-wheel steering system works that I set up here. So let's check out the Capra here. So I got the Capra turned on. There's front. How I set this up is I programmed my four-wheel steer to just be this button right here, right underneath kind of the head of the controller. So if I press that,
Four-wheel steering opposite direction. Four-wheel steering identical direction. Four-wheel steering backwards.
isn't that cool? It talks to you, tells you exactly what it is. It also shows you on this home screen as I toggle through here. It changes the image there to show you exactly what mode you're in. And you can toggle through these very quickly. I can interrupt the very polite lady speaking to me and just go through the modes however I want.
Four-wheel steering backwards. Four-wheel steering forward.
But that's very cool. But if you wanted to, I mean, you could very easily plug your extra servo into one of these dials here. If you wanted to have truly independent rear steering, you could do that as well. All of that's totally customizable, but I just wanted to have it very quickly on that button right there to toggle through. And then again, you can see the servo view. You can see both servos working there.
Four-wheel steering identical. Four-wheel steering. Four-wheel steering forward.
Super cool. Works great. So let me show you real quick how I set up the dig function on this with the transmitter. This was one of the things that I was really happy with right off the bat. Super simple. So the dig function on this one, I set up the PS2 shortcut down here. So you can see that switches right off the bat. Super simple, just like that. And it was so easy to program, like no problem whatsoever. And you can see on the menu, that's my channel 5. Just on and off, 100%. If I wanted to set my endpoints, I could go into the channel 5 right here, and I could tune that down if I wanted to, however I needed to customize that to get the accurate servo action there. So just so much functionality, so many features on this thing that I am still learning and just scratching the surface. But those are some of the quick wins that I've had with this thing. I'm sure I'll discover a lot more. All right, guys, that's going to do it for my initial look at the RC8X transmitter from Radiolink. This thing is so impressive. I hope I did this thing justice. While it's a big investment of around $300 for a transmitter, this is an advanced radio that you can certainly grow with in the hobby, which is exactly what I'm looking forward to doing. This thing has so much functionality, so deep that you can go into this thing and fine-tune and expand into different models and areas of the hobby. Just incredible. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about this as I become more engrossed in the bigger scales and different vehicles and things. This is going to be really beneficial. So it's a worthy investment if you're in the hobby for a long haul, I think, because it's just so versatile. So like I said, this was about $320 on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description down below if you want to go check this out. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the Radiolink? And if you have one, if you've got any hacks or any cool features that you've discovered, please let me know. I'm definitely all ears and want to learn as much as I can about this thing, especially as it pertains to our world and the crawling world. But like I said, I hope I did this thing justice. It's mighty impressive. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I will see you in the next video.